Hello, today is December 4th and we wanted to do a follow-up video on Tesla, which is a fascinating stock, continues to be because of the inclusion in the S&P 500, which you can see was announced back on November 17th or 18th in that neighborhood, and the stock was about 430 bucks, and it has gone up a lot since then. And what's so interesting about it is it has a massive options complex, and we talked about this on a post on our site, SpotGamma.com. You can look it up, where we predicted a 500 pin in the stock due to the humongous open interest that had formed at that strike. That expired and rolled up to the 600 strike, and you can see how 600 has kept this cap on the stock for the last several days. And this is data that you can go back and see on our site via our equity hub. And so if you look at the way the stock is positioned now, you can type in all sorts of different tickers in here, 3,500 different names at the moment. But if you just type in Tesla, you can see here the key things that we're looking at. One is the call volume, which has been very big. If you look at the historical aspect of this, you can see over the last several days it has cooled off some. Back in late November last week, there was millions of contracts trading every day. So it has cooled off a little bit. But the key here in the data is that you can see the 600 strike for the last 5 days has been the key gamma strike. This is where we think the name has the highest opportunity to pin, and that's also because this gamma all is tied to the weekly expiration. What we mean by that is the third Friday of the Friday of every week is where the biggest option position seems to form in Tesla. And so again, this is where you get this pinning mechanism that we're looking at here. So back during this week, the largest expiration was the weekly, which I think was the 20th. That expires and the cycle sort of repeats, right? And so for the moment, 600 is the big expiration that's expiring here at about 10 minutes. And where is it going to roll? Well, we would note that the biggest call open interest remains at 600, not 700. And so at the moment, we don't see an impetus for this thing to really shoot a bunch higher. There is a lot of open interest at 700. We expect what's going to happen is Tesla will have some pressure on Monday from some of this call option this week, and dealers needing to unwind some positions. So we wouldn't be surprised if there's some weakness on Monday in the stock. And then it's a matter of seeing whether or not call buyers reload at higher strikes. So 700 is kind of where this thing is really tapping out. But again, I'm looking for weakness on Monday, and then we'll see where the call interest forms again, considering that 30% of the gamma in the name is going to expire today at 4 o'clock. That's a pretty hefty amount. So that's the status of where we see things having been formed and been trading. And again, this is all mapped out. We talked about this on our site. It's interesting to me if you look at some very intelligent people like this gentleman here, Gary Black, with a very impressive resume, and he's quoted in Barron's and other publications talking about why is Tesla going up. And yes, the S&P is important, but if you look at his reasons of catalyst, options aren't mentioned, not nary once. And so it's fascinating to me that people continue to kind of ignore this metric when the data just shows over and over again how options can influence a name. And you can see that here. Again, we're posting this video mainly because next week, this name is going to be unpinned. We think, again, initial weakness on Monday. If call buyers don't reload, we could see the stock drift back down to the 500 strike. I think is probably, the area that's a key level if things do drift back and give some back. 700 I think is going to be the max into the 1220 ad. And so the major question is, do call buyers come back in? If we see a day with 800 900 million call contracts trading, then I think 700 is achievable. If not, I think we're probably going to drift back down to around the 500 strike. So that's our analysis. Again, you can run this analysis yourself by going to SpotGamma and getting a free trial for the equity hub. This data is updated every morning around 3 a.m. is what we shoot for, and it gives you the latest up-to-date information on Tesla and its options position.